At USC, we have built a very large geospatial map portal. So that is a map of the whole 500 acres of the USC campus. Very improved 3D, beyond what Google Maps would give you. And it's completely navigable. And the next thing that happens is, if you are on this application, which we call iCampus, and you're using Facebook or you're using Twitter or something else, your friends can see where you're posting from, where on this large campus. So the notion of space, time, and place begins to get tied together. And down on the bottom of this map, you can trace it by time, so you can see traffic patterns and all sorts of other things. But it's not just people that will be doing this, because one of the things we've done is we've put sensors on all the transportation. So all the buses and everything else has got a sensor, so you can see, oh, there's a bus coming, it's right around the corner. I'm not going to freak out and miss my class. So this notion of the Internet of Things becomes very important as well. In other words, there's going to be a lot more connectivity between objects and people. And an executive in Japan thought that the majority of the Internet in 5 years would be the Internet of Things. Now, if you've been to Japan, you understand that, in the sense that when you want to buy a Coca-Cola from the machine, you use your cell phone to buy the Coca-Cola. When you want to get on the train, you use your cell phone to pay for the train. And so that world in which this embedded power of objects and Internet embedded in all sorts of objects is going to be a very important world. So from Sony's point of view, everybody who paid $15 a month was basically equal. But when we began to analyze the 2 terabytes of data that they gave us, it became very obvious that some people, like the person in the center of this network, are worth $863 over the next 2 years. Because when they come into the game, they attract all sorts of other people to play the game. And they bring all sorts of people into the game, and they also keep people playing the game longer, and the longer you play the game, the more points you get, and maybe the more commerce you might do, the more advertisements you might see. Now, other people, like on the far right, with the red 233, actually have a negative net worth. When they come into the game, everyone leaves. There's such a bring down. There's what we call a troll, and you probably all know these people on the internet. Some guy comes, starts blogging on your blog or something. Everyone leaves. And so those people have a negative net worth. So this data was very surprising to Sony. They thought everybody was worth the same, and it wasn't true at all. So we've taken these same kinds of things and applied it to all sorts of other things, like Levi Strauss, the jeans company, has 3 million fans on Facebook. Well, they said, well, what does that mean? We have 3 million fans. Well, it turns out that a fan group on Facebook looks very much like a massive multiplayer game. So the second thing we've decided to do is begin to try and use some of these analytical tools to look at the social networks. And you know, one of the things that we really realize is that the role of the social networks in political change are really extraordinarily important. It's not just a joke that some people in Cairo have named their kid Facebook. It actually was a reality. And the ability to organize the Egyptian revolution is really important. So what we did is we have some new software from IBM, which is called semantic web analytical software. And what it does is we can give it certain keywords, and we take the whole Twitter feed, everything coming off of Twitter, and it can look for those keywords, and then it goes and reads the sentence in the keyword, and it has a dictionary of about 1,700 words, and it can tell you whether there's a positive or a negative sentiment towards that person. So this is the people who are running for president of Egypt now. And so what it's done is gone out, and we're using just the hashtag Egypt, and we're going to look at everybody who's using that hashtag and looking for these various people's names and seeing whether the sentiment, green being positive and red being negative. And the interesting thing is that many governments, both here and in the US, have been encouraging this use of social media in the Arab Spring Revolution. But they have no idea what people are actually using it for, and they have no idea what people are saying. And so because these tools can read Arabic, can read any language, French, English, Portuguese, the ability to go out and look in the course of 2 or 3 hours at 4 to 5 million tweets is pretty powerful. So the idea is, we know who your friends are, we know what their faces look like. He has a very large budget of about $500 million to spend on new stuff. And 2 young entrepreneurs came to him about a month and a half ago and said, we've got the absolute killer app for the next generation of cell phones. Here's the use case. Guy walks into a bar, sees a beautiful girl sitting in the bar, takes a picture of her with his cell phone, and our app will now go out and search the entire Facebook database, bring up her name, the name of her dog Spot, that she likes to go skiing, that she went to this high school, blah, blah, blah. And the guy puts the phone in her pocket and goes and pretends like he went to school with her and he remembers her dog Spot, right? So it was like a stalker app, right? Now, Peter, my friend, threw them out of his office, but he said to me, somebody is going to finance this company, right? So here's where we get to this fine line between innovation and destructive practices. So these tools of organization are being used all over the world. One of the problems with Silicon Valley, the people, the engineers that build a lot of these companies, is that they're engineers. They think if you can do something, you should do something, right? And that, to me, is problematic. And we're going to be coming up against this fine line lots and lots of times. You know, when I talked about geolocation before. So, if you've got the Starbucks app on your phone, and you're walking down the street and bing, hey, we see you're only 3 blocks away from Starbucks. Turn left at the next corner and you come in the next 10 minutes, we'll give you, you know, €1 off your latte, you know? Well, okay, for some people that's cool, like that. For other people it's creepy. And so this is the kind of Minority Report world, you know, the Philip K. Dick world that we have to be